Welcome to Irish Footy Vlogs. This is the channel that provides matchday vlogs across the League of Ireland and more. I also do previews, reviews and talking points and issues in Irish soccer. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. First prediction show of the season. This is week 1. I'll be doing predictions of each game in the League of Ireland, be it Premier Division or First Division. Obviously, the First Division doesn't start for a couple of weeks, so I'll be starting with the Premier Division today. And brief preview of each game. That'll be happening every single week, so I'm delighted with that. And I'm just looking out the window because it's snowing again. It's alright, I have my hot tea. But let's get into the video. Now, first up, I'm taking a look at Finn Harps and Sligo Rovers. Sligo Rovers will travel to Finn Park on Friday evening. Finn Park can be a very difficult place to go to. We all know Ollie Horgan is a very good manager, and he's trying to assemble another squad ahead of the season. During the week, he brought in Barry McNamee, which is a massive coup for the club. Be interesting to see how Barry gets on there. From Sligo Rovers' part, I've mentioned in other videos, they've no Romeo Parks now. They've lost Mahon for a few months as well, which is a big loss too. But also, I think a lot of fans are a little bit disgruntled that they feel they haven't brought in enough players so far. So it's going to be a difficult game, I think, for Sligo Rovers in Finn Park. Finn Harps will have a big support, there's no doubt about that. And they'll want to get things going off to a good start there too. I think it will be a tight game. I think most of these games are going to be tight, particularly in the first day of the season. Finn Harps at home. I think if Sligo can nick a point, I think they would take it on the day. And it is a bit of a derby as well. You could call this a Northwest derby as well. So for my money, I'm going to go Finn Harps 1, Sligo Rovers 0. Interesting last few weeks for Cork City. They've managed to bring in a lot of new players, particularly from England. And it looks like they're going to be bringing in a few more players before Friday as well. Whether they be eligible to play or not, I'm not sure. But it's unlikely, I suppose, you're going to play those players. Shelburne, great excitement for Shelburne back in the top flight and a trip down to Cork. I suppose it's a reminder that they're back in the top flight because Cork are a club, established Premier Division club, and obviously have done well over the last number of years as well. Cork, Turner's Cross, packed crowd, can be very intimidating. They need the fans behind them, and they need them behind them all season, not just if they do start to struggle that they drift away. And that'll be something you look for throughout the league this season, is that the fans can stay with their clubs no matter how well they're doing or how badly they're doing, because that's a huge thing. Get that support in, get the finances up, etc, etc. That's great support in itself, even if your team is struggling. Cork City are an unknown quantity. They've a lot of new players, as I've mentioned before. The likes of Darragh O'Connor, though, is going to be important for them this season. They do look like they might lack goals, but again, we don't know what these new players are going to bring to them. Shelburne, obviously newly promoted, have made some signings. I think they look to counter Cork in this game and defend well, and hopefully counter with their pacey players like Cabia in the counter-attack. Fernandez, if he plays. Carl Shepherd, funnily enough, could be returning to play against his old club as well. So, yeah, I think it's a difficult one. I think, as I said, Cork are a bit of an unknown quantity, but I'm still going to give them the nod here. I think Cork City might win 2-1, and it'll be a learning experience for Shelburne. St Patrick's Athletic play Waterford FC on Friday. That's a match I'll be going to, and I'll be doing a matchday vlog of that from Inchicore. Pat's concerns going into the season for many fans is, do they have enough goals in the team? And the answer to that question is, we don't know. Signings like Billy King, Martin Rennie, we don't know what they're going to bring to the party, the two Scottish boys. Jay McClelland, UCD, do they have enough cutting edge? We don't know. They beat Waterford, or Drogheda 1-0 in a friendly last week, and Forrester went off injured early. So we'll be hoping that Chris Forrester is available for this game. And I'm looking forward to a packed Richmond Park for this one. Waterford had a great record against Pats last season. It's all changed for them, more so than even Pats. I think only Michael O'Connor is the only player, if you like, that has survived from the senior squad anyway. going into the season. They've brought in a number of players that have looked quite good in pre-season. Ali Kouch and signings like that have looked good in pre-season. I haven't seen them play personally, but by all accounts from Waterford fans, etc., etc. Waterford had a great record against Pats last season. They beat them 3 times out of 4, including a 2-0 win, a 3-0 win at Richmond Park. Pats won't want that to happen again, obviously. But I think this will be a difficult game for Pats, and I do think it'll be a difficult game for Waterford. I'm going for a 1-1 draw here, and I think it'll be a share of the spoils. And both teams might be reasonably pleased with that. So Pats 1, Waterford 1. Now at Oriel Park, champions Dundalk will take on Derry City. With the match called off, the President's Cup match called off on Sunday, I think that would have done Dundalk quite good going into this game, I think. Good preparation. Derry City are a team to watch out for this season. Made a lot of new signings, good players. They signed Adam Liddell from Reading, another striker, yesterday on a 6-month loan deal. So that's an interesting sign for them. I believe he's 20 years of age, was in the under-23s at Reading. So they've added to their squad as well. Something I mentioned that they might have. They look like they have a good first team. It might have a weaker squad to some other teams, but their squad is strengthened now, I believe. Dundalk often start very slowly. It is at Oriel Park, but I think Derry City are going to be really up for this game and will want to prove a bit of a point here. You know, Harkin in midfield is a player I really like. Dundalk's dynamic has changed a little bit in their midfield because of Sloggett coming in. He is a good player, and again, Sloggett will play against his former club, Derry City, but Benson gone as well. Be interested to see how the likes of McCormack do for Derry this season in the middle, and Connor Clifford, both disappointing at their clubs last season, so depending how they do, could really show how good Derry City are in midfield. Strong enough at the back as well, Derry City, I think. Owen Toll, very good defender. Dundalk are strong all over, as we all know, of match winners everywhere. Duffy, Kelly. I'm not sure if they've completed the sign, this guy from Serbia or not. I think they're waiting on papers. Kozovic is his name. Work permit, etc., etc. But they've got Georgie Kelly, Hooban. They've got a lot of goals in the team. But I just have the sense that Dundalk might be a little slow to get out of the traps here. And as a result as well, I think I'll go for a draw on this one. So I'll go Dundalk 1, Derry City 1 at Oriel Park. Now finally but not least is the Dublin derby between Bohemians and Shamrock Rovers at Dalymount Park. Now we all know the history between both clubs. One south side, Shamrock Rovers, one north side, Bohemians. But recent history has Rovers winning in the Cup, FAI Cup semi-final by 2-0. Now that was for Rovers' first win over Bohemians in 9 attempts. So Bohemians, the Gypsies clearly had the upper hand there. So the feel-good factor has been going around Dalymount Park for that reason alone. Rovers second last season, Bows third this last season as well. So Rovers are going to be looking to kick on, let's be honest, and try and challenge Dundalk for the title. Bows will feel that they can push for second, but they also need to keep the Wolves behind them at bay. It looks like Dinny Corcoran's going to be playing in this game. He's back, he's fit, and he appears to be ready. Bows have an interesting dilemma at centre-back, in my opinion, because we've got Dan Casey, Kieran Kelly, Cornwall, and Finnerty to choose from. It's important that Keith Long gets the best partnership together, I think, and establish a partnership throughout the season if he can, while having a competitive, obviously. This is a difficult game because it's such a big game. It's the opening day of the season. The atmosphere will come into play as well. But ultimately, I think it's going to be a shaky affair. Nobody's going to want to lose this game, especially in the opening day of the season. I can see Rovers establishing a bit of dominance on that central midfield. You know, they've got the likes of Jack Byrne, they've got Greg Bulger, they've got Dylan Watts, they've got Ronan Finn, they've got O'Neill, all to choose from. The best midfield, squad-wise, I think, certainly in this league. Bows will need a bit of sprinkle from Mandrew, a bit of craft from Grant, and we'll have less of the ball, I think. So they're going to have to make use of what they have, possession they have, but certainly have players that can hurt Rovers. Rovers out wide, though, are very good as well. Farouj is going to kick on this season, in my opinion, may well start this game. And McAniff, of course, we all know how good he is at the other side, well capable of scoring goals. So on paper, Rovers do have a better team, but on paper, Rovers had a better team in those last 9 fixtures as well and only won one of them. So, you know, this is going to be tense. It's going to be electric. But ultimately, I'm going to say 0-0, which is, could argue is the easy way out in many ways. But I just see it being very, very tense. And nobody is going to want to lose this in the opening days of the season. It'd be a big, big disappointment for them if they do, I think. So that's about it for the prediction show week 1. As I go further on into it, it'll be a bit more in depth because results would have passed. We'll know the form teams are in, and we'll also know what kind of players the teams will be playing. Just before I go though, I just want to mention the fact that I'm after getting a ticket for the Daily Mount game from a guy I'm not going to mention, but he knows who he is. So thanks very much for that. Much appreciated. As a vlogger of particularly the League of Ireland, I feel like I need to be getting these games and be able to cover a Bows and Shamrock Rovers game and bring the vlog to people. So that's great news for me as well, that I can do 2 vlogs now this weekend, which is fantastic. As for the ticket fiasco, it was a fiasco, and it's something that really angered me and still does anger me, to be fair. You know, between Bows and the providers themselves, it's a very disappointing situation, and the way it was handled, the way tickets were sent out to people and had to be voided, which is a big disappointment for everybody. We all know the demand exceeds the sales essentially, but the way it was handled was very, very poor in my opinion. Elsewhere, I want to thank the Drogheda United chairman as well. He was very good. He had offered a trip on their team bus to Cliftonville for a game this weekend, which I would have vlogged had I not got the ticket for the Bows Rovers game. But that was a very kind gesture, and I want to thank him for that as well. Much appreciated. A lot of people have helped and tried to help, which is great as well, and I've noticed that throughout as well. So great stuff, and I'm delighted that I can bring the 2 vlogs this weekend. So looking forward to that. And I think that's about it. See you again for the vlogs. Good luck.